Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. The shooting rampage in Tumbler Ridge, BC that left 10 people dead, including the shooter, and 25 others injured is being felt across the country and here at home. Condolences have been pouring in from around the world. Here in Saskatchewan, the Dene High School in La Loche posting to Facebook saying, "Our hearts and prayers go out to the victims, families, community members, and school staff. We stand with them in solidarity." It comes as La Loche marked 10 years since its own deadly shooting in 2016 that left 4 people dead and 7 others injured. Meanwhile, Premier Scott Moe calling the shooting in Tumbler Ridge horrifying, adding, "Our prayers are with the families of the victims, those injured, and everyone in the community." An inquest into the death of a man at Saskatchewan Penitentiary continues. 28-year-old Brandon Lupkowski was found unresponsive in his cell during a regular check on November 28, 2022. This morning, jurors heard from the forensic pathologist who performed Lupkowski's autopsy. The forensic pathologist testified the injuries he sustained were not consistent with a homicide and appeared self-inflicted. He said items found in the cell could have been used during Lupkowski's injuries. A non-lethal amount of methamphetamine was also found in his system after his death. An inmate who spoke to Lupkowski just hours before his death said at this time, the penitentiary, there was a methamphetamine problem with some of the inmates. A Watrous man is facing child exploitation charges. Police say investigators with the Saskatchewan Internet Child Exploitation Unit searched a home in Watrous on December 10th, seizing electronic devices. Yesterday, 68-year-old Miles Dittner was charged with 2 counts of possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. He appeared before the courts and was released on conditions. He's scheduled to be back in court next month in Saskatoon Provincial Court. A Saskatoon man accused of murder is one step closer to a verdict. 23-year-old Catlin Desjardins Kelly is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Arden Panapakisik. Panapakisik was shot in the neck on February 10, 2024, inside his home on Avenue K North. He died a short time later. The trial began 3 weeks ago. On the stand, the jury heard from the victim's wife, responding police officers, and even Desjardins Kelly himself. Closing arguments are expected tomorrow before the case goes to the jury for deliberations. Well, pretty mild temperatures here on the prairie. Jeff, almost makes me want to buy a little house.
How little? How much you got on you?
Just a little house on the prairie.
There you go. Nice work there.
So what do we have in terms of the weather?
Well, Pa, we've got ourselves, little Joe for you older people like me, we've got ourselves quiet conditions across the prairies. And quiet, and by we mean not a lot in the way of active weather, light winds, and warm temperatures. Quiet could be under cold temperatures too, but for now, it's going to be warm temperatures and getting warmer as we roll into the next 2 days. So temperatures are on the rise. We still have a big high-pressure ridge that's still anchored in the U.S. The ridge itself starting to break down a little bit. By the early part of next week, things will be decidedly colder, and we'll talk about that later on.
Saskatoon police are warning the public the grandparent scam is again making its rounds in the city. SPS says over the last few days they've received reports of scammers targeting victims in Saskatoon. In these schemes, fraudsters call victims claiming to be a family member, often a grandchild, saying they're in urgent need of help and ask for money or cryptocurrency to help with bail or legal fees. The scammers also sometimes threaten the victims, telling them not to let family or friends know what's going on, and can pretend to be police officers, lawyers, or other officials. Police are reminding people, if they get these types of calls, to hang up and contact family and police. The federal government's new electric vehicle strategy is drawing mixed reaction in Saskatchewan. Last week, Prime Minister Mark Carney scrapped Canada's mandate to require all new vehicle sales to be electric by 2035. Instead, Ottawa is rolling out tougher emission standards for 2027 to 2032 model years, to drive more zero-emission vehicle production. The government is also launching an incentive program offering up to $5,000 for EVs and $2,500 for plug-in hybrids or qualifying vehicles. Saskatchewan Automobile Dealers Association welcomes the change, while a member of Sask EV says the new plan won't be as effective as the previous mandate.
From an industry perspective, we're thrilled with the idea of eliminating the mandates. It's something we've been lobbying for since their inception.
I think it's less stringent, and I think it's going to be a little bit easier on the auto manufacturers, where I think they really need to crack down on the manufacturers to encourage them aggressively to move towards electric vehicles.
To qualify for rebates, vehicles must cost under $50,000 and be built in a free trade partner country. There's no price cap for Canadian-made EVs. Rebates are highest this year and scale back annually until the program's scheduled end after 2030. A recent image of Saskatoon's St. Paul's Hospital is raising concerns about overcrowding in Saskatchewan hospitals. The picture shows portable beds occupying a part of the hospital previously used for addictions treatment registration. There's a section which is still used for rapid access addictions medicine registration or outpatient services. While addressing media this morning, NDP MLA Mira Conway said that areas like the ones pictured are not equipped to handle patient care.
There's no oxygen, there's no suction, there's no nursing supplies, there's no privacy curtains, and this area offers no dignity to the people that are having to access care there. Not to mention, we should not be forcing people to receive what could potentially be life-altering medical news within inches of a stranger. This is not acceptable.
CTV has reached out to the province for a response. We'll have more on this at 6. A Saskatchewan man is recalling the tale of a moose who attacked his mother last month. Sean Tufnell told the story to CTV News. He recalls the attack on January 22nd being a harrowing experience. The 37-year-old heard his 70-year-old mother, Angie Tufnell, crying for help on her acreage near Bienfait, Saskatchewan. He says the moose was standing over top of her, so he quickly went to her aid, punching the moose multiple times before eventually shooting it to save his mother.
First thing I could think of, get it away from her, because they just start stomping and then you're screwed. So I yelled twice and it just turned, pinned its head at me. I didn't think it was going to run away, but it was worth a try. So I screamed pretty loud and big, and then, just pinned his ears back and looked right at me and kind of shuffled towards me.
Both Sean and his mother suffered injuries as a result of the fight. He says the moose cracked his ribs and his mother had to get stitches after getting her calf stepped on by the moose. When we come back, recruitment for the Prince Albert Police Service. Jasmine Pelche finds out what type of person the police service is looking for.
We are with the Prince Albert Police Service. They are doing some recruitment coming up, looking for new members. How are you doing?
Good. It's a very challenging time in the province. All agencies are looking to recruit new police officers, so we're all going after the same people for the most part. So we do have our work cut out for us, but we've been doing really well in the last few years, so we're hopeful that the future will bring the same.
What are you looking for in terms of recruits? What kind of people?
For the most part, I always tell candidates we're looking for good people. We look with people with high integrity, people that are compassionate, trustworthy, empathetic to sort of the needs of our community, and with that foundation, we can teach and train all of those other important policing skills. But if you have that good, those person qualities that I had mentioned, you'll definitely get off on the right foot.
What qualifications does somebody need to have to start the recruitment process?
There's a few requirements that are mandatory. So you have to be 18 years or older. You need to have a free and clear criminal record. That doesn't mean that maybe something happened when you were younger. However, that needs to be pardoned or cleared. Grade 12, a Canadian citizenship and or a permanent residency of a certain amount, and we usually discuss that with the candidate. And other things, good driving record, CPR, some other little requirements that are necessary for that initial application.
After the initial application, what does recruitment look like?
So they go through the process, and it involves a series of interviews, polygraph assessment, a psychological assessment, and then we do reference checks, background checks, talk to people that are familiar with these candidates, and at the very last piece is the interview with the chief and the deputy chief. And if that goes well, they're offered employment. And then from there, they move on to Sask Police College as an employee of the Prince Albert Police Service or the City of Prince Albert, and they get their training down at Sask Police College in Regina.
In terms of physical and knowledge testing, what does that look like?
Those are two pieces that are right at the front of the application process. One of them is a Sigma, and it really is a test that tests cognitive skills, problem solving, similar to that of a police officer would use in his day-to-day work. And then the fitness examination is a POPAT test, and that tests a whole bunch of different things: agility, aerobic strength, jumping, things of that nature. It's quite demanding, so I always share with candidates to research it and make sure that you can pass those two pieces, because if you don't pass them, you don't get to move on in the process. We do have 2 Sigma rights that are coming up, and those are the first steps of the process. So February 17th and February 24th, we're hosting Sigma rights at 8:30 in the morning at the Prince Albert Police Service at our main station downtown. And you can sign up, or you can just simply show up and we'll facilitate that test for you.
How are you hoping to recruit people who might be looking at other cities like Saskatoon or Regina?
Well, we just try to brand our city and the opportunities that we have here. I know that, we do get a lot of candidates that are local, which is nice. We are a bit of an outdoorsy type community, so we know that attracts people. We're close to the north, to have that connection, I guess, to our community is really important, and that's really a big attraction for a lot of candidates.
What did we not talk about yet that it's important to get across?
I think, policing, certainly there's some challenges in today's day, but it's a very rewarding job. We get paid very well, and there's lots of opportunity for career development and really to have that positive impact on your community. And I feel that, there's really no other job like it where you can gain that reward and trust within your community.
All right, great. Thanks for having me out here.
Thank you.
Jeff's got a heart-shaped weather forecast coming up, and later promising treatment options for a rare and aggressive form of cancer. So, Jeff, a couple of thin, wispy clouds over the north, but for the most of the center and the south half of the province, we got to see the sun again today.
Yeah, it was a lovely day, and we are expecting warmer temperatures tomorrow and on Friday. So, next couple of days, and then things will start to cool off a little bit. But a little bit back to seasonal, or just slightly below that. We'll talk about that later on. Keeping our eye on what's going on the west coast. We are anticipating some of this moisture to make its way down the west coast and bringing not only rain to Vancouver Island and Lower Mainland, but also to the ski resorts in the coastal mountains that need it. And but across the Western Canada, across the prairies, I should say, continuing to stay warm, not roasty toasty like last weekend. So don't expect record-breaking temperatures, but all in all, pretty nice. And then as we make our way out to Canada's Atlantic coast, that's where they are bracing for. I think it's tonight into tomorrow, and then ultimately Friday for Newfoundland. So Maritimes get it before Newfoundland does, but a big dump of snow, particularly southern coast of Nova Scotia. Not so much New Brunswick, but Nova Scotia looks like it's going to be getting another hit or another round of snow. On to our futurecast. So once again, these pressure lines staying relatively far apart. There's a little something in terms of a storm or low slipping through northern areas tonight. You can sort of see the bullseye there as it makes its way, sort of starts to show up in the early morning hours and then lingers and gets out of there by the afternoon. But not a big storm expected there. And as I mentioned earlier on, mild conditions for many locations, including parts of the north. So look at these temperatures. These are typically warmer than daytime highs in mid-February, and these are the overnight temperatures. So -6 for Spiritwood and the Battlefords, -9 for Candle Lake and Nipawin, -8 degree the overnight temperature for Birch Hills and Rosthern, and -7 in Melfort. Most locations dealing with partly cloudy or mainly clear skies, so not a lot of cloud cover tonight. Then we roll into tomorrow where we see a bit more in the way of cloud cover throughout the region. Spiritwood, 2 degrees, ditto that for the Battlefords, 2 and mainly cloudy skies in Candle Lake, the same for Nipawin. Birch Hills, Rosthern, and Melfort all dealing with mainly cloudy skies and 1 degree for a high. Detailed forecast for the Battlefords, -9 degrees tonight with partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 15, then switches over a little bit. And then tomorrow's daytime high, 2 degrees, mainly cloudy skies, winds out of the west of 15. And hey, we have the E.A. Rawlinson Center for the Arts there in the background. Just a reminder that tonight is opening night for Shakespeare in Love, put on by Little Birdie Productions. So we'll wish the cast the best, and of course break a leg with your show. So have a great opening night. And now on to our 7-day forecast for the Prince Albert area. We've got ourselves 2 degrees on Thursday, 2 degrees on Friday, cooling off on Saturday, make your own jokes, cloudy skies on Valentine's Day, mainly sunny on Sunday, -2, -9 on Monday, and then back to below seasonal temperatures, but these are manageable, I would think. 40% chance of flurries on Tuesday, and that's true of Wednesday as well. So a slight chance of flurries and temperatures, well, around -15, which is about 6 degrees below seasonal.
And the whole cast and crew was hanging as like another cliffhanger. They were hoping you didn't say the what is it? The jinx of show business.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. You heard what I heard.
You figured it out. There you go. I like that.
I don't say those other 2 words, the G and the L.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Well, another Saskatchewan athlete competing for Canada at the Olympics, Maya Schwinghammer, competed in the Moguls final today. She almost found the podium, finishing 5th. Schwinghammer from Saskatoon was ranked 10th in the world heading into this event, but at 24 years of age, she's likely to have another chance to compete in future Olympic Games. The Prince Albert Raiders and Regina Pats faced off last night in late season WHL action, and it was a familiar face scoring a milestone goal that was the difference.
Middle of the point for Cripps now. Back to Christensen, who walks in. Wrist shot, fires, scores!
Captain Justice Christensen scoring on the power play in the second period wound up as the game-winning goal, a 5-2 final. Christensen's 13th of the season was his 50th career WHL goal, improving the Raiders' record to 47-5.
Yes, this is a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, as they say, an NHL preseason game played in Saskatchewan, and we found rare footage of it. An untelevised matchup in Saskatoon between the Winnipeg Jets and Calgary Flames from 1990. There were some highlight reel goals and some nice plays, but this one might be remembered for how rough it was on the ice, mostly because of all the fights. It seemed like nobody was getting along, and the refs had their work cut out for them just to keep the peace. In fact, at one point, you could count 5 Winnipeg Jets players in the penalty box at once. The Calgary Flames sin bin was also getting crowded. In the end, Calgary would come out on top, as this Al McInnes shot wouldn't get through, but Theron Fleury would find the back of the net to give Calgary a 5-4 win. Lots to celebrate, and likely many bruises to show for it.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
About 1,000 Canadians every year are diagnosed with an aggressive brain cancer called glioblastoma, the disease that killed tragically hip singer Gord Downie in 2017. As Kevin Green reports, University of Calgary researchers say they may have found a way to extend the life of people diagnosed with it using a Comlin vitamin supplement.
Edward Waldner was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2024 after months of declining health, which eventually sent him to the emergency room in Lethbridge.
And so I did a CAT scan in Lethbridge, and the doctor came back, and he entered the room, and I knew it was bad.
It actually couldn't get much worse. Waldner has glioblastoma.
Unfortunately, it is the most aggressive brain tumor in adults, and up to now it is an incurable disease.
Waldner didn't give up. After surgery and chemo, he enrolled in a research study at the University of Calgary looking at whether high doses of niacin or vitamin B3 can slow or halt the tumor's growth.
We instantly jumped on it and said, why not? Let's help out with the study. You know, if it helps me, it can help somebody else. So I think it's helping me.
Researchers say the preliminary results have been very encouraging.
Whereas in untreated subjects, 5 of 10 would progress over a 6-month period. In the context of niacin treatment, this was reduced to 2 of 10.
Glioblastoma shuts down the body's immune response to the tumors. High-dose niacin appears to reawaken it. And while encouraging, the results are preliminary, stage 2 of a 3-stage trial.
This interim analysis is hopeful that more patients are going to benefit from niacin. We cannot extrapolate overall survival yet.
While the researchers guard their expectations, Waldner's family believes being in the study has extended and improved his life.
It's a joy. It's a joy to find this. You know, every day we're blessed to still have him, and it's thanks to this.
Researchers are still enrolling more patients into the study with a goal of having 48 undergoing the niacin therapy. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Okay, Jeff, at the Olympics, people might be complaining about ice quality, but this ice is definitely rougher. We're getting a look at massive crack on the ice on Lake Erie. It was first spotted by satellite on Sunday, and now we have this incredible drone video of the crack. It's estimated to span more than 120 kilometers from Port Burwell, Ontario, all the way to Cleveland, Ohio. And I don't know, I know a lot of the figure skaters were talking about some of the activity and maybe with some speed skating going on the same ice. They were complaining about some ruts and all that stuff.
I don't know what the complaints are, but goodness knows that's impressive video.
Yeah, there you go. You know what they say, everybody plays on the same ice.